What's up, guys? It is Austin here again, and this video is going to kind of double as a recap, both a recap video of my trades from today and a bit of a lesson for you guys as well. And first of all, I want to thank you guys again for smashing the like button on my previous live streams and videos and everything. And that's awesome. So we'll see if we can get this video to maybe 15 likes. That'd be a record setter uh, for me and my channel. And yeah, I do appreciate you guys hitting the like button. But anyway, so let's get into the trades from today, and then I'll kind of talk you through a bit of a lesson here as well on this trade. And maybe just by looking at it, you can already see where I'm just not so happy with myself on this trade, even though I'm up $200 on the trade. It's not a good trade, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to go over trades from today. So let's talk about those. I think the first trade I took was on Square, and if you saw there, I'm actually $0 P&L on Square because I set my stop at break even. And so in here at 195.12 and then out here at 195.12, and it's I'm kicking myself, but also I'm kind of not, because if I had let this retrace all the way to here, um, most likely I still would be in the trade, but I'm a little bit happy with myself for just setting the stop at break even and letting myself let go of this trade. Even though it did work out in the end, there is a scenario in which this stock, falls back down through the VWAP and hit and touches these lows. I mean, I probably should have stuck with this one though. I mean, obviously, but I mean, hindsight 2020. But without that, if you look here, you know, you probably should stick with this because look at this double bottom and look at this green engulfing candle. That's a very strong reversal. And you already have a retest of the lows, and you have pre-market support in here. So there's a lot of support here and a double bottom here, really a triple bottom if you include the pre-market action. And then the rip up and Square, I think, is just not a stock I have enough experience trading to know that you really have to give this one quite a bit of room and let it come back down to VWAP. And in this case, VWAP really acted as a very uh, good trend line almost. I mean, it had a pretty solid support here and a nice bounce. And obviously in at 195, it's at 199 now. I mean, you can do the math. It's up 400, over 400 bucks, and that would have been great, but that's just how it goes. So in and out, $0, no harm, no foul, and then we have Baba. So let's talk about Alibaba. This one pre-market really I was looking at to go long, and I tried it multiple times and it wasn't working. And I was getting a little bit frustrated because I kept waiting. You have these candles here, these wicks, where it's trying to go, it's trying to go, it's trying to go again, and it failed. And here on this little bit of a pullback, I really wanted this candle to turn green and squeeze through VWAP for real. So I got long here, but had to cut it and got a partial fill here. Had to exit out a little bit lower down here, which I didn't really like. I was down about, I think I was down. Oh gosh, what was I down on this? Maybe 180, maybe 150, maybe 200. I'm not really sure. Somewhere in there on this trade, I could do the math, but I'm too lazy. I'm not going to bore you with that right now. But here's where, okay, I'm going to try this again because you have kind of this bounce and then consolidation. And I talk a lot about how these grinding lower is not a good place to be in a short position, because you get squeezes, especially early in the morning. You get these squeezes where the shorts get crushed, and that's how Baba really started its rally today. Was off this consolidation, pullback, fake, boom, and then to the upside, blasting through VWAP and really decisive, strong green candles here. And so in and out and turn the stock green, 154 bucks. And obviously it's continued higher, but once again, hindsight 2020. All right, so those were my morning trades, and then Peloton is really where the lesson comes in. And so okay, yeah, so let's go to that. And as you'll see, I traded this one a lot later on. Why are the trades not showing up? Hello? I don't know what's going on. They were there a second ago. Um, bear with me. There we go. Okay. Little bit of a glitch there. And look at now, it looks like it's coming back up. We'll have to see what happens, but good thing I got out of this one. But okay, let's talk about, oops. Let's talk about why this is such a, why I'm kicking myself and pissed that, I mean, well, happy that I got away with $200 gain, but pissed that I even took this trade. What am I thinking? First of all, you have the past few days were, kind of a grind higher for Peloton, which is, fair enough, but really low volume on this one the last several days, and this action is pretty to me, it's pretty indecisive. I mean, really coming into the day, I would say there's a bias to the long side, but nothing too serious. You do have a lot of kind of touches on this 200 moving average, which has been a support for it, and then one this morning again, where kind of that last bounce, and now it's tested lower multiple times, failed, and now we get that rip. But I suppose, the lesson here is just to not jump in front of a darn freight train when it's about to run you over, which is exactly what I did here. I mean, what the hell am I thinking? I go short here for 300 shares because I just sometimes you just think like how long can it continue to grind higher like this without a serious pullback into the VWAP or at least into at least give up a dollar here or something. And I just thought, I'm gonna jump in front of this grind higher. And Peloton has low volume. It's lunchtime. I don't know how it can sustain this move, but it only gathered steam from there, grinding higher. And this break here is really where the volume starts to come in, and you do typically see this. The grind higher on low volume turns into the squeeze on high volume. That's when all the action really gets serious, and I'm lucky that this one didn't keep going. You know, there are pros and cons to taking trades like this because I do think with this, even though you have this kind of momentum, and I mean, when you zoom out like this, you really see how vertical this move is compared to the action of yesterday. But with you just don't get a move like this sharp in the afternoon without a pullback. And so that's kind of the thinking of, I mean, without a pullback, like you're not going to go up, 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 and then just level out into the rest of the day. I mean, I suppose that could happen. Anything can happen, but that would just astronomically unlikely. You're not going to rip up and have a huge green candle here and then just consolidate sideways for the rest of the day, or just grind higher. Um, I mean, I suppose you could have a day where you do go higher throughout the entire day, but again, that's unlikely. And and with this resistance at the 500, or sorry, the 50 moving average here on the daily too, I liked that I shorted this right in front of that resistance, but it just seemed to blow right through that resistance. And and so that's kind of a lesson of like you have to be able to recognize when stocks are gaining momentum and gaining steam and uh, and just you don't want to get in front of these moves. You don't want to put yourself against the trend when the trend is staring you in the face. And that's kind of what I did here. And I averaged down, which saved me, but I had to hold my average down. Gosh, I keep doing that. I had to hold my average down through this rip. That's almost a dollar per share on 500 shares, almost an additional $500 loss on top of the 300 shares that I was already down even more on. So yeah, I mean, down a lot on this one, and had to kind of bring it back. I marked out this 111.14 level, which was a kind of a temporary support in here, and also happened to be my break even between these two. If you average these out, if you do an average weighting based on the shares, you'll get 111.14 was my cost basis. And and yeah, I mean, when the volume's picking up here and everything, it's just you just don't want to be short. You just don't because you have no idea how high this guy's gonna fly, and it looks like it's gearing up for another leg up. Luckily, it lost its momentum here, but again, anything can happen. It looks like it's gearing up for another leg. And and so yeah, that's kind of the lesson. And it happens even more often on the short side. Moving lower, and you think, oh, I'm gonna get long for the reversal, and then the reversal never comes, but then you just start bag holding because you're just like, well, the reversal's going to come. The reversal's going to come. It's going to bounce. How can a stock be this weak? Like, how can it just keep going lower? I'm going to average down. I'm going to buy more shares. It's got to keep going. And that's what a lot of traders do. And that's what I did here really on the long side. And I just feel like this is a mistake. It's not a good trade. You shouldn't just hop in short into stocks that have a bunch of momentum like this and are just decisively moving higher. Like why would you hop in front of that, and why would you get yourself in the way of that? And if I got 300 shares long here, I would have had a really nice profit if I had gotten out anywhere up here. And so I'm staring at this thing here thinking, oh, it's just it needs a pullback. I mean, this look at the moment, like look at how much it's going up. But you got to get in perspective and realize what their true potential of these stocks are and really how high they can fly. And when you're in the moment, it's hard to see really into the future and see the volume picking up and bigger candles starting to form. And it's hard to see these moves before they've happened. And so that's where it might be tempting to hop in short, but really you're just blinded by what hasn't happened yet. And you know it's a sucker's trade. It's not a good trade. And luckily my average down saved me, um but these are trades that when you average down like that can turn into disasters really, really quickly, can really hurt you if they don't go your way. And really the only thing that made me average down was just purely you see the parabolic move here. It's really parabolic. Each candle gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that is typically, and I would say typically in very strong words, more than typically, more often than not, a scenario in which the pullback is going to be severe. And that's where you have these panic sell-offs and things like that. Typically, you see that in small cap stocks more often than these mid to large cap stocks. And uh, in that sense, it may not be a good idea to jump in short here. That may be another reason not to do it because these stocks tend to have um, not as sharp pullbacks in which they fade throughout the rest of the day like small cap stocks. These ones will stay strong and have really strong days to the upside, like it looks like Peloton is having here. And another thing was this nice red and almost engulfing candle. It's a nice meaty red candle that kept me interested in the short position once it formed. And I got a little bit nervous as we were gearing up back up here, but luckily we had this failure before I had to stop out at the highs. And gosh, I can only pray that I really would have stopped out at those highs. But anyway, um, so that's it. That's kind of the lesson on this one is just is and for other stocks and other moves, just don't jump in front of the trend. It's just not a smart thing to do. And now it's different if you are trading a reversal. Early morning reversals are common. Here it is, trade the reversal, buy the dip and explode to the upside. You can reversal trade. That don't get me wrong. But here in the afternoon, the direction of the stock has likely already been determined, and hedging your bets on a clean and hard reversal in your favor against the trend is just it's that's not a you're trading on a whim and on a prayer, and it's not a smart thing to do in my opinion. All right, so that's my recap of today. Up $352 regardless, so still a good green day there. And I'll be back at it on Monday morning next week. So I had a green week this week. Every day of the week was green, and so that's good. And I'll try to keep it going next week. I will be flying home to California for Thanksgiving, so I may be taking a break from trading during that time. But I will be back at it Monday morning, and I am considering doing a live stream in the morning of day trading live in the morning. I may or may not do this, I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out. And it's something that eventually I have interest in doing, so that you guys can really see me trading live and kind of get a better feel of the strategy. But but yeah, so smash that like button and subscribe if you think guys think these videos are helpful to you. I like to make them, and I do think that they are helpful, and hopefully you guys do too. All right, so that's it from me, and have a good weekend, guys.